Education Committee of the whole meeting to order at 5:30 PM on May 12th. And I already said 5:30, so we need roll call.
Beaton?
Here.
Becker?
Here.
Fortress? Fox?
Here.
LaFramboise?
Here.
Pretty?
Here.
Hinton?
Here, and Fortress is with notice. She's in an important graduation for her son in Missouri. So, public comment? No, approval of the agenda. Public comment? Nobody?
Do we have to vote on the approval of the agenda?
Didn't we?
No, you said
We
it.
just
but we
did roll
didn't.
call, okay.
just
Discussion
took
on this
attendance.
agenda? I know there's, are we removing?
Yeah, if we could just table that therapy dog until Heidi's available. So I don't know what I need to.
I'll second that.
So you're making a motion to
I'm
approve the
making a
agenda
motion.
with tabling that?
Yeah, let me try this. I'm making an approval, see, I already messed it up.
No, you go ahead.
I'm making a motion to approve the agenda as written, but tabling B policy, 1 therapy dog policy to a later date.
I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Nate to table the therapy dog policy and second by Darren. Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Becker?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Beaton?
Yes.
LaFramboise?
Yes.
Pretty?
Yes.
Hinton?
Yes. New business, public comment. Seeing no public comment, nobody out there? We move on to new business and we have personnel sick day payout. I don't know who's speaking, anybody speaking to that?
I think this was just that you guys wanted to have further discussion about it. It was really Ms. Fortress who was wanting to have more discussion about it, so I'm not really sure if you guys have more questions. I'm happy to answer them.
Does anybody have anything?
I believe what it was is that Ms. Fortress wanted to make sure that we weren't going to continue the practice of adding central office personnel with the vacation payout like we've been doing. But personally, I think we're just fine because it's gonna come up for the next time for voting. I don't personally see it being a problem, but I don't know if we should just take that off of the agenda.
Could I offer a potential solution that we've discussed? So if somebody goes from, say, being a teacher to an administrator, we would give them their sick day payout after they conclude their teaching contract.
After they what? I'm sorry.
So after they conclude their teaching contract, we would give them their sick day payout at that point.
I don't hate that idea, but then they would lose all of their days. So at that point, they, in say something happened where they require to leave or, something like that, then they wouldn't have the time that they had saved up. I don't hate that idea,
I agree. And
but
also-
I think that,
Also at the end, when you put that big chunk of money into a saving or a 401k and you might not be able to do that.
we don't have 401ks in education.
Yeah, I know, you know what I mean though.
Yeah,
403B.
403Bs.
Exactly. A retirement fund, I think that would be problematic.
So may I just suggest that we wait until Heidi is back to?
I mean, so
get
we've cleared up the current HPASA administration, right? We've made an agreement, anyone who's a building administrator, who's moved up from the teachers group to building administrator, we've cleared that up. I think our last real longtime employee who became a central office administrator, we cleared that up at the last meeting, that's done. As I think about the people who are in this building, I don't think that is really something that's gonna come up unless we have another teaching staff come up as we have any further retirements with the principals, honestly. Like, I don't foresee it if you think about the people who are in this building,
Won't happen.
nobody kind of really falls into that category at this time. And we've cleared up the current building administrators. I know that we have a couple retiring next year, but,
It was a big hit at first, but now that we've taken care of it.
but we're not doing anything
Right,
to any of these until their time of retirement anyways, right?
exactly.
So, I mean, I can't predict the future, it'd be cool if I could, but, I don't foresee this being like an issue.
Maybe if I could
In recent
suggest,
times.
if we could suggest maybe putting this on the next month's agenda. That way we can discuss it at the committee as a whole, and then take it to the, because this is something that doesn't have to be done right away, right?
Right, I thought it was just for discussion, and
Yes.
that's why I thought if Heidi's back, we can get her.
So I would suggest putting it on the next month's agenda, and then that way she can have her input.
That's fair, because we voted on everybody that's up, so it's not,
Right,
it's not a time-sensitive issue
I think
anymore,
what I
there's no
heard-
action item.
What I heard from Ms. Fortress was, I think what I heard from Ms. Fortress is she didn't want it to happen in the future. But just as it would be a financial, thing that you guys are making a decision on now, I think that to the opposite of it, who knows where we're at in the future, and maybe it doesn't, we're in a good spot, and it's something that we can offer to employees. So I don't know that it's even something that needs to be decided at this time, that's just me, but you guys do what you want, obviously, but, I think that just something to think about.
So we don't have a policy about
We're
this,
gonna-
correct? Sorry, we don't have a policy about this then, obviously.
I don't think so.
This is covered by contracts, not policy.
Okay.
That's in the CBAs.
So we'll put it on next month.
Perfect.
Perhaps, can I make one more suggestion? Perhaps this is something that if it's going to continue for the building administrators, that this is something that goes into contract language, or something that we talk about at that time, rather than cutting it off at this point. That's just that might be something to think about.
All right, well, we'll move it to June for discussion, and we can bring that up when Heidi's here and she can hear it too. That's what, it does make sense, I think, to codify it into contract language, so that way it's set for each individual, but
Yes, I agree.
not across the board to the point where we're,
And it's a benefit to
Administrator's
have
contract
teachers,
is up at
to
the
have
end of
staff,
next school year.
faculty put in.
Yeah,
To
that's
this
why-
point.
I mean, it feels more equitable to do it in their contract language than, so maybe it's part of their negotiation.
Well, I'm just saying, and then
Nate,
it's,
go
then it's a
ahead.
benefit for faculty to want to put in for positions as administrators if they know that it's, that's,
There's an incentive.
yeah, they're, you want to treat them well, so. Want to keep them here.
Okay, athletic director, moving on.
So we're moving this June, just so I can
Yep.
clarify myself? Okay, thank you.
Anybody have a question about athletic director?
I think this was just a general update. Does anybody have any questions? The meet and greet is happening Wednesday at the high school, 4 to 6. Come out and meet our candidate.
Okay, high school principal.
Same thing, meet and greet tomorrow from 4 to 6. We've decided we're gonna do it in the cafeteria. We'll have some cookies and water for everybody who wants to come out, again, from 4 to 6. And it is in front of the choir concert, I believe is tomorrow, so to try and garner some more attendance. Anyone is welcome to come out and meet our candidates. We have 2.
Principals tomorrow.
Principals tomorrow, athletic directors Wednesday.
25, thank you, Christy, 25, 26 extended school year, Jardine, and I thought we already did this, and I meant to check. She'll know if we already did this.
I thought we voted on it.
You absolutely did this, thank you. I just wanted to bring it back to your attention because on the last board agenda, it was written, the information, the board memo was written for the district, and the title was Jardine. So we're gonna bring it back correctly. So we'll have Jardine with the correct board memo and the district ESY with the correct board memo, so that we're righting the ship here.
I was like, this is the exact same thing, but I realized it was different, positions.
Yes, there was a slight error in how we put that board agenda together, so we wanted to make it right.
Well, thank you for taking care of that, making
Okay,
sure.
all right, thank you, Mr. Fox. Does
So-
anyone have any questions?
Even though we already took care of it, this is just for information, we're not gonna vote next week, or, yeah,
You'll
next
vote,
week.
we'll vote again.
We'll vote again?
Right.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank
catch.
you.
CARES room facilitator.
So, forgive me, my memo won't load now. So the CARES room facilitator. CARES room, as you guys know, is our, it's basically our in-school suspension room that happens here at Advantage. It's an option for the high school and the junior high to, so the students don't go home for a suspension. They can come here, they can complete their work, they can do some modules on the, items that perhaps their offense was in. We are asking to move this position from, it has been staffed so far by district substitute teachers. So we're asking to move this position to be staffed by a paraprofessional and put them in under the class 5 pay rate, which is the same pay rate as the behavior paraprofessionals that are out in the district. I made a couple of updates to the job description today, and those were, one, under key responsibilities, if there isn't a student scheduled for the care room, then the paraprofessional would be expected to go to another paraprofessional position in the district for the day. Perhaps someone is absent, or they need extra help someplace in one of the schools, or they could go home, but they wouldn't be here in this building. So we need to make sure that they understand that that is the expectation, that if there was no students, that they would work out into the district. And and then that they were able to travel to the various buildings on their own if necessary. And then under qualifications, basic computer navigation skills are required just to use the programming that they're going to be, the Navigate 360 to help the kids in the Chromebooks and the Google Classroom, things like that. Just some real basic skills. But it is a savings for the district per hour from about between $12.32 to $15.72 per hour, and that's just based on the class 5 pay rates for the paraprofessionals versus the hourly rate for a district sub. Oh, and one more thing, it's a 7-hour day with a 30-minute paid lunch. The facilitator does take lunch with the kids. So any of the kids that are here, they bring them down and eat lunch with them. So they wouldn't be relieved for a lunch period.
Do we have any current paras that meet, I'm sure we do, but
Yeah,
that
yes.
meet these?
Yeah, actually, we do have a few paras who are interested in the position.
Anyone else? All right, thank you. We're moving on to finance, 25-26 junior high scheduling budget. Dr. Kosminski?
Yes, good evening. It's my pleasure to see all of you again. I am here to talk through the teaming scheduling model that we have been working on throughout the course of this year with a group of teachers at the junior high. The memo that you received was specifically for what we anticipate to be potential one-time costs associated with making a transition from a traditional scheduling model to a teaming scheduling model. The cost there in this memo would be for some additional work day and work time for the junior high faculty to get needed training and information about how to work within a teaming model, the benefits of a teaming model for students, and how the structure just in general would work for them, so a transition time. It's important to know that this is an estimated cost. If we were to do 2 full days, this would be the cost. It's the overage rate per hour. However, teachers in the contract are required to do some teacher choice PD time each school year. So what we would do is provide this as an optional PD time for them, in which case they'd receive credit for that work and we would not pay them for that time. So the cost would be significantly reduced. During a transition to a teaming schedule at the junior high, it is a significant learning curve. So we anticipate that this would only be done in the first year of transition. This is not an annual or repeating cost. It would be a one-time cost that likely would be less than this, because when we talk to the faculty, the idea of getting their teacher choice PD out of the way is pretty appealing to them because it would be done in a meaningful way that was impactful to their day-to-day work. And it would be a benefit to the district if they did that because it would cost us far less money. So this is something that has been ongoing, just a little bit of background. So that's the financial piece of it. But a little bit of brief background. There was a team of teachers and administrators formed at the beginning of the year, back in the fall, to examine the junior high scheduling. And throughout this process, I have been an integral part, Dr. Delmich has been an integral part, Mrs. Beach, the principal at the junior high, she's been integral as well as key teachers from the core. We have a math teacher, an ELA teacher, a resource room teacher in the special education department, as well as a support teacher who does MTSS support, all working in tandem to examine the junior high schedule. And we brought forward a recommendation to shift from a traditional schedule to a more age-appropriate middle-level teaming model that is research-based and best for students at the junior high or middle level. We believe that it would create a sense of community in the junior high. Students would be on a team where they would build and foster genuine relationships with one another and their teachers. Teachers, it's great for faculty because it allows them to work in tandem with their colleagues to plan and to support student needs. And it would really create a sense of community, which research says is great for students in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So we're bringing this proposal forward for consideration around the funding for the transition to educate and facilitate professional learning for the faculty at the junior high, which would take place over the summer.
I have a couple quick questions, of
Sure.
course. Is this similar, when I first started subbing here a zillion years ago, they had a house program where
Yes.
the teachers got it's not really a second planning period, but for lack of a better term, a second planning period where they could meet and discuss the needs for individual children or the group as a whole? Is it similar to that?
It is very similar to that, and yes, so the faculty would have individual prep time that they're used to, but the expectation is that when you're on a team, you would be meeting with your team on a daily basis to plan, and that's the beauty of it. You can really plan some great interdisciplinary activities, make sure that all the content standards are being taught. We have some really great new social studies curriculum being rolled out next year, math curriculum rolled out next year, so it's really a beautiful time to do this work and make that transition, and it is exactly that, yes.
Perfect. I loved that program. I was sad to see it go. It helped me. I first started subbing and I was doing a long term for the math teacher at the junior high. And so it was very beneficial to me.
Yes, because you're on a team and you're not on an island.
Right, I'm
And
not by myself.
It really creates that collaborative environment.
And the other thing was, you're moving away from a traditional 7-period, 2-semester schedule. What would it be?
It would be the teaming model. So students would have their ELA, social studies, science, math every day along with their elective schedule. So it would be 2 semesters for the grading purposes, and there would still be quarters. So parents would still be receiving feedback on their students' progress on a traditional schedule of quarter and then semester. But day to day, the bell would not ring every period for passing. The bell wouldn't ring actually at all. It would ring to start and end the day, but there would be no bells ringing because students would move and do the shifting from topic to topic throughout the day based on what their team of teachers scheduled and planned for them.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. I'd love to see that in action.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Because even the house program, we still had bells.
Yes.
But in our junior high was kind of built for that approach with the pods.
Our junior high is exactly built with this in mind. So it would really be taking that beautiful facility and bringing to life what the facility was intended to house. Yes.
So, just a comment. I was so pleased to hear that that was coming back and it was so similar because that program was so successful for our students, extremely successful, and it was built that way to accommodate that program. So just, it was a money issue.
Right.
That's why they disbanded it, but the kids' education needs to be first and foremost, and we need to figure that out.
Well, one of the benefits to the work that we have been putting into this, and remember, this has been done in collaboration with the teachers, which is best. I think we get the best result when we work in collaboration, And one of the parameters that we put on it is that it was cost neutral as much as possible. So in other words, we would be using the same amount of teachers to create the structure.
Now, is there anything built in at the tail end to help prepare the students for when they do go to the high school and transition to the traditional 7-hour schedule from transferring, classrooms and everything? Is there anything built to help prepare them for that so they're ready?
So, I mean, we certainly can talk about that, but teaming is not a new concept as evidenced by some of the experiences that you've had. And so developmentally, research says that it's the most appropriate and most beneficial way is to put students on teams at the middle level to get that relationship built. And honestly, I believe that if we do that right, they will be more prepared than ever to make the transition to high school because they're going to get the most out of their education and they're going to feel the most connected to their school community at large and in micro in terms of their smaller learning community or their team, their junior high as a whole. And so while the bells may not be ringing and they may not be used to, walking during passing time per se, they're still going to be transitioning, from their core classes to their electives. So they're still going to have to know how to walk appropriately and behave appropriately in the halls. But it does provide a little more structure and guidance to their day by being on that team. So I believe that I don't believe there'll be an issue with the transition. They're still going to have lockers and locks combination and all of those things that most kids have angst about in August when they're getting ready. Will they remember where their classes are and all of those things? We can certainly build that in terms of the transition from 8th to 9th grade to make sure that students are feeling ready to make that transition. But I think if we can really make them feel connected and get deep learning out of their 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years, they'll be more ready than ever to go to the high school.
Okay. Thanks.
Anyone else?
This, of course, will be budgeted for next school year, correct, in the budget?
Right, we wouldn't
Sure.
need additional teachers to do this.
I remember that the house program, it started in both our junior highs, the Webb Junior High and Beecher Junior High. And that's why they built the junior high like it is, because like was said here, they wanted that house program. And it worked great. I mean, the kids were coming out much happier, much more together, it's just a lot better. And even if you go back in the 70s, that's why the rooms here have doors in them, because they used to do team teaching in elementary school. So, I mean, it's a proven fact for Hazel Park, it does work.
Yeah, thank you for your feedback. I think life tells us sometimes that what was old is new again. And so I appreciate that support. We think it will be successful too. And we're hopeful for what it might look like.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
It's exciting, very exciting. Okay, number 2, L4029, I think that's taxes. Everyone's favorite subject.
Good evening. Another exciting topic, right? Taxes. The L4029 is our annual report of what we are going to assess for our taxes. And this was, there's Crystal. Crystal's first year preparing this, and for me, I have not looked at one of these in about 12 years, so it was a nice refresher to review it. We do not have really much of a change at all in the tax rates, but the taxable values of the house, not just houses, but commercial property and that as well, that's what drives, that's the determining factor of the tax rates.
Any questions? I think it's still on the rise. Our property in Hazel Park is going up, up, up. Any questions? Nope. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Next is the Chartwell contract.
That's me too.
Oh, okay.
So this is our 4th and final renewal of the contract with Chartwells. And so the rate changes were fixed in the contract. It's really just a renewal to keep them around for one more year. We will have to bid that out again next year.
Anybody have questions?
One question I have is that how can we start letting our athletic boosters and booster clubs start using or doing the concession stands? Has that been investigated yet, and can it be if not?
That would be something that we would look at next year when we're doing our bid, when we're rebidding. So, that would be one of the terms of it, but right now it's in the contract that Chartwell's would be doing it. We have an agreement with them. So when we do our bidding next year, we would be able to change that.
So the contract that was approved by the Board of Education approved the fact that they have to do the concession.
Correct.
I'm looking at the questions.
Thank you.
Sorry, were you finished?
Yes.
I was looking at the questions that I did, and I missed this question on here. I just have a quick question that you probably have to look up, so I'm not expecting an answer right now. When we redid I think it was the kitchen portion, we borrowed money from Chartwell's. Do you know if that is paid back?
Crystal?
I did answer it in the email.
Oh, okay.
I maybe neglected to cut
Okay.
and paste it.
It's not here, so I just thought maybe I didn't ask it.
That was my fault, I apologize.
Nope, I thought maybe I didn't ask it.
So it's actually being paid on a monthly basis with our regular Chartwell's invoice. They've incorporated it in with that, and it's expected to end June of next year.
So it didn't come out of this surplus of food budget service money? Because I thought that's what we were using to pay it back, but that's not the case?
No, it's coming out of that. I mean, I can get the exact coding for you, but it is when we pay the Chartwell, it is with that coding.
So it comes out of the food service money, it's just tacked onto their, a bill?
Yeah, so they send us the invoice. Oh, I should be missing. So they send us the invoice every month that we do pay, and I can, I don't know if it's in the check register.
I probably just misunderstood the way that I thought out of the surplus of food service money would pay that back because we could have used that food service money to do that.
That is what's being used, but they're, really, they're giving us an interest-free loan that we're paying back monthly.
Monthly.
So instead of paying it back out of the fund balance all at once.
Okay, and I'm sorry, since I didn't write down, when did you say it was done?
June of next
It's
year.
June of next year,
Thank you.
so the end of our contract, and then we'll be all set with the 250.
All right, thank you so much. It's good paper.
I have a question. Okay, it says the district has an excess fund balance of $709,000. So each month we get a bill that goes down, like why are we sitting on $700,000 if we owe them money?
That was at the end of June 24. And actually, the balance is much lower now because we used some of that money to redo the high school cafeteria, the seating in that area. So that was our last year audited balance.
For food service, right?
For food
Okay.
service, yes.
How far in advance of this contract ending does the rebidding process start? So like this contract would run through June 2026, so a year and some change. When do we have to
Probably
rebid?
around February,
Okay.
we would do that.
Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
American Reading Company renewal materials, grade 11.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I don't feel like this is on. Can you hear me okay?
Push the button there, make it red.
Oh, there we go.
Let you up.
Look at that. So, we did not get the quote from American Reading Company, so we will not be bringing that forward this evening. So, well, again, we'll look at that next month because we know that you would like to have an opportunity to look at it and discuss it, but American Reading Company was not able to come through with that, and I don't want to quickly rush it through. I want to have the opportunity, once I get the quote, to review it and make sure it's aligned with where we need to go next year in terms of that purchase.
Anyone? Okay, thank you. Webster Smart Tables, are you also?
It is.
All
It
right.
is.
Welcome to the podium.
That's right, that's right. So, we are coming to the board this evening to purchase something that was actually written into the GSRP grant this past fall. We did not get an opportunity to act on that, so we were coming to the board to ensure that we can purchase that smart table. An interactive smart table is essentially a big table. It's like a giant tablet. Some of the pluses are that you can do a lot of interactive learning games. You can view videos. You can have the students collaborating on different types of things. You can have students creating things. And we feel that's going to be a very beneficial piece to add to our STEAM room at Webster. We've had our STEAM room open, I believe, about 3 years. And other than the first year, we really haven't added anything to that. So we felt it really important to put that in there since we had the opportunity to put that into the GSRP grant.
Those are really, they had one at one of the national conventions I went to, and they are huge, and you could, the cool thing is that several kids can work on it at one
Correct.
time. It's not just one kid, but all around the table, they can all work on it. I wanted one then, so I'm glad we're getting one.
So
They do.
will
I've used them, they're amazing.
will it be in a general area where classrooms can go down and use it? It's not in one specific
Correct.
room?
The way that the STEAM room is at Webster's, it's in that middle area. They actually opened up 2 classrooms, so the teacher in there has a very big space, and this is going to be a great addition to it. And all students in the building come to that space to have their STEM time.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
Like a little baby elective.
Web roof repair, that's a tongue twister. Web roof repair.
They're the
Hello
wolves,
again.
maybe it was designed that way.
3 times and then I'll talk. This was just an emergency repair that needed to be done, and so that it didn't get worse, and since there were loose pieces, we didn't want to risk somebody getting hurt with flying debris. I authorized that to be repaired, and so now we just want to bring it to you to be aware of that.
So, yeah, we had that nice write-up about it and that it was taken care of, but I think it was 2021, we did the scans of all the roofs, and it was here and Roosevelt, and there was one more, Hoover. And here Webb has the leak.
Not Webb.
So, yeah, so much for the scan. I think we
Right.
should go back to that company that charges $20,000. They got the wrong roof. Thank you. Any questions, anybody? Fox break. Is this Mr. Wilkins?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Our website renewal, if you remember, back in 2019, we did a 5-year contract with Foxbright. That ended in 2024, so between 2024 and 2025, they didn't do a price increase. They're doing a price increase of $497 for the next 3 years, like annually. If we don't sign up to do a 3-year contract with them, then it's going up to $6,700. So that's why we're coming to the board for request a 3-year contract for hosting.
Did we, in the 5-year contract, did we pay annually too?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody? Questions?
Is, the storage, is that unlimited still?
Yes.
Can
Are you
tell
happy
us?
with
What-
it? Or all-
Yeah.
Are you happy with the service?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anytime we have any problems, we email them, call them, and it's fixed.
It's a great company.
Yeah.
A lot of
Which district is
experience.
them?
Perfect. Good. Nothing else? All right.
I have 6 more questions.
Okay.
Not really.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for getting us the lowest price.
I was waiting for you.
I know, I was looking forward to them. Just ask them, how are you today?
All right, monthly financial report.
Hello.
This is an amazing meeting here. Hello. Anybody have questions?
No, I got mine answered in advance. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No one? No questions on the bill run? No? All right.
Thank you.
Moving on to public comment. Seeing nobody approaching for public comment, we will go to our, any board members?
You have no idea. I do want to just take a quick thank you to Jen Adams. She helped me tremendously over the whole last week with teacher appreciation with the junior high and at Webb. We ended up doing really cute Webb throw blankets for their final day on Friday. And then the junior high, we had cups that had like the Patriot logo and then their last names on it. So that was fun. We did snack carts and took some dessert over to the high school. And right now, our varsity girls are winning 12-3. And if they win this, which they're going to because they're in the bottom of the 7th, they will be the outright MAC Silver champs this year. So as of today, when they win, they'll be 23-0 over the last 2 years.
Nice.
So
Yay.
that is super exciting. Last week after the softball game, I ran down to JV because I haven't been able to catch a JV baseball game. And it was the last inning, and one of our freshmen actually hit a really nice ball out into center field and got his run in to win. So I thought that was kind of cool that a freshman did it. He was a little nervous, you could tell, but that was awesome. Prom was awesome last week. The pictures were amazing. I got to see a couple of prom send-offs, like driving back to my mom's house from our neighbors, and those are very extravagant. I've never really witnessed the crazy prom send-offs, but they were fun. I do want to say thank you to Angel Hunter. She reached out to the community to make sure that our seniors went to Cedar Point without having to pay anything. It was supposed to be $60 a kid. She went and got bottles, community donations. People just donated $60 just to make sure the kids didn't have to pay. And she has said on her Facebook that she has got it all covered, every single student that's going. I think that's it.
That's very amazing.
I just thank you, Christy and Crystal, for stepping in last week in Washington.
I was just gonna ask if I can come up and just mention something about it.
Yeah, please.
And as far as I'm concerned, but yeah, no, it was great. It sounded like the kids had a really good time. They actually learned some stuff and got to see some really cool stuff, so.
Chuck is preparing a video of compilation of things that we gave him, so we'll play it maybe at a board meeting. So
Okay.
see some-
Sounds good.
Do you mind if one of them come up and just talk about it a little bit? I would love to hear.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come on down.
Crystal had my spot. I love Crystal sitting at the desk signing bills.
In the Oval Office.
Said increase federal and state funding.
And you signed immediately, that's the immediate executive order.
Once you bang that gavel, it's done. You did it.
I would like to say that it is a packed full 4 days of activities for these kids. We saw 3 of the Smithsonian museums, we saw the Capitol building, we saw Name a Monument, we were there. The food was great, I think the kids really liked that. And you are at breakfast at 7 a.m. and you do not get back to the hotel until 9:30, 10 o'clock. Like, you are going that amount of time. You are tiring these kids out. They still stay up past
Chaperones.
You're definitely tiring out the chaperones. But yeah, it was an amazing time. Our students were fantastic. Really, honestly, they could not have been more respectful at the monuments, at the memorials. We were so proud of them. You could have heard a pin drop from our students at Arlington. I heard that in some other districts and some other schools that has been problematic. Not ours. Our kids were wonderful. Our parents were wonderful.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Vanette Cephas. She's amazing. She was fantastic with these kids. Everything went really smoothly. Nothing to really write home about other than we had a great time. I think the kids did too, Like I said, we took tons of pictures. There's an album. We took some little video interviews of the kids about some end of the trip things. So hopefully, Chuck's gonna kind of throw that all together as a little compilation. So.
Just coming for your job check.
Well, he didn't want to come.
So yeah, it was great. Again, like Krista said, the kids were doing, they did very, very well. I was actually surprised, and I was kind of nervous on how it was going to be going with a bunch of 8th graders. So it was super surprising the fact that they were all very well behaved. I would like to say the World Strides did a great job.
They did.
Our, why can I think of his
Guy,
name? There
Jason.
you go, Jason was pretty awesome, well-informed, did take time out to stop, teach the kids, interact with them, in regards to, the different, places that we went and paths that we, took along the way, and the importance of different things, and had them, engaged. So, World Strides did very, very well with that, and then just overall, it was really
Shout out
fun.
to Dan, our bus driver, he, had
Dan
all
was
the
great.
patience
He
in the
was-
world.
He was
Following
rolling
us
on the
around
road.
DC.
So we started off with the driver, switched over in, I think, Pennsylvania, and had Dan for the majority of the time. And then on our way back, switched over, again, and that was about it, but Dan was, called him Dan the Man. He was awesome. So, and the kids loved him.
Yeah, they did.
So, but it was awesome, about 20,000 steps a day, just so you know.
Yeah, just so you know,
many
so
kids?
prepare yourself.
How many students?
We took 26 students with us.
The picture looked like a lot more than that.
It did, listen, 26 was enough.
Probably felt like a lot
I
too.
feel like it felt like a lot more than 26 at times. Constantly counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, so no, but, we could not have done it, really, honestly, without the help of Ms. Cephas and the other parents that went with us. They were fantastic. Shout out to them that they, wanted to take the time and do this with us, and it was, about 20,000 steps a day walking. So, we got that in last week. Those kids did too, and minimal complaining and whining about that, honestly. Like,
No.
there was some, but
There was
it
a
wasn't.
few here and there, especially on the day that we visited, Arlington, because it was just,
Hills was
a lot, I
one.
probably complained in my brain a little bit too, but, it was very, very hilly, so I think if any of the days, we got probably a little bit more of the wines and whatnot that day, but
Yeah.
other than that, they were awesome.
But that was the day they did the barbecue, so. that
Yeah, it
made up
tasted
for
really good.
That made up for it.
I had a lot of fun.
Me
outside
too,
of
I did,
this.
I had a lot of fun.
Would you do it again?
No.
No. If I had to do it again, I wouldn't do it with anybody else. but that's all
I
right.
do it again, minus Arlington. I just didn't like the cemetery, so, but everything else was great, so.
Thank you.
I appreciate your work and your honesty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chaperone, yes.
Dr. Cost, do you have anything?
It's hard to believe, but the seniors' last day, if they are in good standing, is this Friday. Didn't that sneak up?
Wow.
There's gonna be a lot of excitement. Thank you.
It's a busy time. Yeah, busy time. Anybody else?
If anybody is listening or watching at home, I just want to say that the Summer Discovery signups are open, and it is an amazing program throughout the summer. Academics in the morning, kids are welcome to stay for enrichment opportunities in the afternoon. Fantastic, fantastic program. Fully paid for by a grant, so they bring in like some really good stuff because Balmer Group has the money to bring in a lot of really good stuff. So if you're on the fence, sign up for that.
Okay, I just have next week's meeting is at the high school, recognizing lots of students on Monday. So please come on out and cheer them on and shake their hand and give them congratulations.
Exciting.
Adjournment?
Motion to
Do
adjourn.
it. I'm excited this meeting lasted an hour. Less than an hour.
We are